I never planned for this to happen. I never imagined that one day I would wake up and feel like a stranger in my own life. But sometimes life doesn't follow the rules we set for it. It all started on a quiet Tuesday evening. I was sitting in the kitchen watching the clock. 6:45 p.m. My husband, Daniel, would be home soon. I knew exactly how the evening would go. He would walk in, kiss my forehead absent-mindedly, and ask what was for dinner. I would tell him. He would nod and check his phone. We would eat in silence, except for the sound of cutlery against plates. It wasn't always like this. There was a time when Daniel and I laughed together, talked for hours, and held hands when we walked down the street. But somewhere along the way, life became routine. Love became habit. Passion became memory. That night, after Daniel fell asleep on the couch, I picked up my phone and scrolled through my messages. And there it was, a message from him. "Are you awake?" I stared at the screen, my heart beating a little faster. I knew I shouldn't reply. But I did. "Yeah. Can't sleep." Within seconds, he responded. "Come out for a drive?" I hesitated. My fingers hovered over the screen. I turned to look at Daniel, his face relaxed, his breathing steady. He wouldn't wake up. He never did. I grabbed my coat and slipped out the door. His name was Ryan. We met at a bookstore 2 months ago. It started with small talk about a novel we both liked. Then we had coffee together. Then dinner. And now, here I was sneaking out of my home like a teenager. Ryan's car was parked near my house. He smiled when I got in. "I thought you weren't coming," he said. "I shouldn't have," I admitted. But I didn't leave. He started driving. The city lights passed by in a blur. "Are you happy, Anna?" he asked. The question caught me off guard. Was I happy? I had everything: a stable marriage, a comfortable home, a predictable life. But happiness? That was something else. "I don't know," I whispered. Ryan didn't push for an answer. He simply reached over and took my hand. And for the first time in years, I felt something real. It didn't happen all at once. It was a series of stolen moments, late-night drives, long conversations, touches that lasted too long. With Ryan, I felt seen, heard, wanted. He made me laugh. He made me feel alive. But guilt followed me everywhere. When I sat across from Daniel at breakfast, I wondered if he could see it in my eyes. When he kissed me goodbye in the morning, I felt like I was betraying him all over again. I told myself that I would stop, that I would end it before it was too late. But every time I tried, Ryan would look at me with those deep brown eyes, and I would forget why I even wanted to leave. One evening, I came home later than usual. Daniel was sitting at the kitchen table, his face unreadable. My stomach twisted. Something was wrong. "Where were you?" he asked. I had lied so many times before. But something about the way he looked at me made my voice shake. "Just out," I said. "With who?" I hesitated. Daniel exhaled sharply and pushed his phone across the table. "You forgot to log out of your messages," he said. I stared at the screen. My heart stopped. My conversations with Ryan were right there, every word, every moment, every lie. I felt like the air had been knocked out of my lungs. I opened my mouth to speak, but no words came out. Daniel stood up. "I thought we were happy," he said, his voice tight. "I thought so too," I whispered. There it was, the truth, raw and painful. That night, I packed a bag and left. Daniel didn't ask me to stay. Maybe he knew it was too late. Maybe he didn't want me to. I drove to Ryan's apartment, my heart heavy with guilt and relief. But when I knocked on his door, he hesitated before opening it. And in that moment I knew. I wasn't his future. I was just a story, a secret, a temporary escape. I had lost everything for a love that was never meant to last. And now I had to start over. Alone. Did you enjoy this story? Would you like more stories to help you learn English and practice listening and shadowing? Subscribe to English Stories with Donna. Practice with us every week and let's learn English together. See you next time.